soul session. It's Friday, December 12th. We are going through the 12-12 portal, the last 12-12 portal of a 9-year cycle. This is a moment of release, of coming to term with what is and preparing for what is going to come to be. We're going to get straight into today's message. We already have 4 readings that we will be doing while we are on the live. And we'll see what messages comes out. If you're watching this on the replay, hello, hello, hello. This is a moment to prepare for the solstice, to prepare for the 13 wishes on what you want your 2026 to look like. We have a new moon coming up on the 19th, which is next week, Friday. So we'll talk about that as we get closer. We just had Neptune station direct, Mercury retrograde station direct earlier in the year. Earlier in the week. Earlier in the year, what are the things that you are still holding on to that was causing you struggle, strife, or whatever in January, March, right? All of the baggage we've accumulated throughout the years, you don't want to take any of that with you when it comes to the new year. So let's see what the vibe is for this Friday. Fridays is ruled by Venus. I think I'm going to need help with this chat because I can't see the chat. As you're coming in, make sure you like the live. We haven't gone live on YouTube that much, but we're going to start to show YouTube some love. Um, hmm. We'll figure out how to get to the comments because I see them pop up. But once I start the reading, I will not be looking down. Feel free to leave any thoughts, feelings, suggestions that you're feeling in this moment. And then as we get closer to the end, I'll get through your thoughts, your comments, your feelings, your suggestions, and we'll take it from there. We'll also be doing the reading for the 4 people who signed up at that time. Holy Spirit, what is the vibe on this? Before we get into that, I know what I'm going to do. Hold on. Because now I will be able to see your chat. All right, thank you for the likes. Marcy, you did make it. All right, Holy Spirit. Hey, J Max, what is the vibe on this Friday? What is the vibe on this Friday for the collective? And then we'll get into also why we're not going live on, that fell on the desk that's to the right of me. Why we're not going live on TikTok. Starting with, and we will do the love reading towards the end, after the general reading on what the vibe is. Karmics. No. And I say it like that because if you know about the readings that have been coming out today, it is a lot. We have heard about a masculine or feminine who is just so deep in the nonsense, so deep in the craziness that they attacked an earth angel. Accidentally on purpose. Accidentally because their higher self never wanted them to be this type of person, but purposely because, they're in Rambo mode, feeling like they have to defend something, feeling like they have to fight for something, but it's coming from a space that's not even entirely theirs. This is someone who's surrounded by karmics who like to dibble in the bibbity boppity boo, people who like to manipulate other people spiritually as well as emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever they can get away with. Your guides are asking you that when it comes to any third parties that either you have or your person has, like, make peace with what it is and start making, if you haven't gotten out of the situation yet, start making tracks, right? Get up out of Dodge. The karmics, with this being the first card to come out, are also because it's the end of the year. Around Halloween and now, right, are two times of the year where people who do baneful magic, there we go, right? That baneful bippity boppity boo, give it all that they've got to knock you, dear collective, dear soul tribe. We got to figure out the moderation situation on YouTube, but that's another thing for another day, right? They're doing their best, their worst to try to knock you off that square, right? They're really in that I'll get you and your dog too energy, but your guys are saying not to worry. They've already put you in a period of isolation, and as cliche as it sounds, that rejection was actually your protection. While they're throwing whatever they're throwing your way, a lot of it can't hit because they can't come into your home. They can't have you on that one-on-one situation, right? In order for you to actually cross that trick or cross whatever they have laid down for you. During the holiday season, especially as we transition from one year into another, from one cycle into another, over the next 4 months, or for some of you, between now and your next solar return, be very, very careful of who you let inside of your home and whose home that you visit, because that's another way that you could pick up or people can leave tricks for you. Next, we have laughter, happiness, joy, healing, right? This confirms now with the messages that came out earlier. We had 3 parts on the clock app, and then we continued here. And there's a last part that I had to take a break, go cleanse, go meditate. And one of the biggest messages that came out during the second recording was that regardless of what they've done, regardless of what these karmics have been up to, you will be just fine. Matter of fact, you will be better than fine. And you've heard what I'm about to say before. Your success will be a testament to the Most High's will. Your success will be a testament that who God blesses, no man, woman, child, friend, or foe, or karmic shall curse. Lastly, we have, there we go. We were told from the very beginning, right? To get up out of Dodge when it comes to those karmics. Cut ties with people, places, and things that do not serve your highest good. Cut ties with the people, places, and things that have been preventing you from fulfilling your destiny, from fulfilling your happily ever after. For those of you who had saw the other video, I've got 2 new decks to my collection. I am excited, even though this is a really thick deck. It's a very informative and helpful deck that I've been using for the past 2 days. Shout out to Spiritual Infusion, which is one of a handful of readers that I actually refer people out to. Holy Spirit, is there anything else the collective needs to know about this message that came out? Oh boy. Anything else? And we'll take 2 from the top just because. Just cause. Thank you for spending this part of your day with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure you are subscribed. The biggest one is this energy, the laughter energy, right? Because this card struggled to come out and got bent out of shape, right? Look at that. What does that say? What does that say? Some of you may, we love doing screenshots, but you may need to screenshot it as your reminder. Make sure you're in here liking the live, right? But I think you double tap the screen. I just press the hearts and stuff. Pure intentions, new love, feelings growing, self-love, birth, fertility, emotions. But we also know that When we see the Ace of Cups, it's about your cups runneth over. It's about you having that happily ever after. It's about that wish fulfillment. And the fact that it came out after laughter, the fact that it came out after being heard, after hearing that no matter what they do, you're still going to win. Another confirmation that come what may, you're still going to win. Even this tower, which is off camera, let me move everybody up, right? Tower energy, destruction, forced change, catastrophe, damage, but it came out in the reverse. And one thing we know about the tower is the tower, whether upright or in the reverse, the tower, as my voice runs, is the tower. But the fact that it came out in the reverse talks about a journey delayed, having to deal with the people, places, and things that can not accompany you on the next leg of your journey is the biggest thing. You already know how it's going to end, especially if you keep doing what you've been doing, right? Because Spirit loves to say that. You already know how things are going to work out. Let it work out the way that it's supposed to. Trust the guidance that you've been giving, those intuitive nudges that you've been getting, those dreams, those visions, the synchronicities, the angel numbers, all of that. Trust it. Cutting ties. Now, seeing this face automatically had to look at it with the side eye, right? Because that's confirmation that this person went deep in spiritual warfare to achieve a means that only will benefit them, right? They went deep, deep, dark in the valley. Some of them actually went to a voodoo priest to do this, that, and the third with your belongings, either your hair, a piece of clothing, one of your favorite bracelets, something of yours that had your energy attached to it, but it's not going to work. God saw all of that. Your angels, ancestors, spirit guides saw all of that. Their angels, ancestors, and spirit guides said all of that. And they've been giving them, they're saying disciplinary action, and they still don't get that nothing that they do to come against you, to try to hurt you, to try to trick you, is ever going to work. They have awakened a side of you didn't even know existed, right? They have helped you along your sacred journey of becoming. Their coming against you only will make you stronger in the ending, clarifying karmics with the Ace of Swords. You have two aces now, right? Divine intervention to bring you the truth one way or another. Divine intervention as I look down and see this star. Clarity is coming in. Truth is coming in. Enlightenment is coming in one way or another. We heard in the other reading that the truth might even come through a drunken text, or this person just no longer being able to bear the burden of what they did to you in spirit. That they're being forced to tell the truth so they not only set you free, but they set themselves free. Isolation is clarified by the Page of Wands. Messages, right? And not so much non commitment, but it feels like you're going to get those downloads. You're going to get those messages. You're going to get that information one way or another. Receive it and move accordingly. Anything else does the collective need to know before we get into the love reading? I love the Kipper deck. Oh, there we go. Clarifying karmics and the Ace of Swords. The truth has to come out, and karmic justice will be served. We talked about Ochosi last week, and karmic justice being served, not just with the person you were dealing with, but anybody who has done anything they weren't supposed to do in your life or wherever. We're all under judication right now. And karmic justice or dharmic justice will be served one way or another. Over isolation in the Page of Wands, we have toil and labor, occupation and thoughts. Of course, what you hear, what you see, what is revealed to you is going to be disturbing for certain audiences. It's going to be graphic. It's going to make you question why people do the things they do, how people could get so dark, and what pushes someone to do something so, for lack of a better word, bad. How are they so cruel with their intentions? Process those thoughts, process those feelings, because you have to, or else you're going to start to think that everybody is like this. Only the people who are under spiritual influence act out as bad as this person is acting out. Forgive them, release them, and continue with this occupation and toil and labor coming out together. Continue doing what you've been doing. Lastly, clarifying the tower is the family room. Having that conversation, that very necessary conversation that not only sets you free, but sets your person free. In the video, I haven't uploaded it yet, but Spirit specifically gave the guidance of using the Ho'oponopono meditation, right? The I'm sorry, please forgive me, right? I love you. Meditation to not only help yourself heal, but on behalf of this person so that they can heal and be set free from the demons, the dark entities that surround them. I'm going to take a quick peek at the comments if I can and see what you guys are chatting about. J Max is here. Hello. That looks like Senia. Monica. Happy Venus Day. Dorsey is here. So the reading is going to go in this order after we do the love reading. We have Boogie, J Max, Say, and then TJ. Who else is here? Marcy. And Boogie is here. Perfect. I'm so glad everybody was able to make it. So before we go into the love reading, the reason why we're doing the live here and not on the clock app is because, speaking about karmics, right? Reported the last live we did for selling prohibited items. Yeah. So we'll be able to go back live, I think, Tuesday. But I don't even know how I feel about that because there's not any real recourse if someone accuses you of something and you didn't do it, to actually speak to a person and say, hey, they're lying, right? Fix it. You have to appeal, and they use AI to decide whether or not they're going to accept your appeal. And yeah, whatever. Whatever. The Soul Tribe knows exactly where to find me. All right, let's get into the love reading. We're going to use another deck. I'm going to put this deck away and use how are you guys doing? I forgot to ask you that. How are you doing? It's a Friday, right? The day before the weekend. Are you guys ready for the holidays? Do you celebrate the holidays? How are you feeling with everything that's going on in the global world as well as your world? I'm over here looking for decks. Holy Spirit, when it comes to love, what does the collective what does the collective need to know on this day? What is the Venus message for this day? What is the Venus message for this day? Anything else that the collective needs to know about love, whether they're single in a relationship or other? What else does the collective need to know? What else? does the collective need to know? And we said we'll get one from this other deck, which is the second of the new deck. And you know, when the decks are new, they're a challenge to shuffle. Oh. Got a little mixy. Holy Spirit, what else does the collective need to know about love? What else does the collective need to know? I don't know what's with that middle card, but everything seems to be going in that direction. What else is... Okay. And then we'll get a couple of cards from the Romance Angels. Anything else the collective needs to know on this Friday? Okay. We'll start there because chaos and conflict came out in the reverse, and then it was clarified by how appropriate is that? Love, harmony, fate and fated partnerships, synergy, purity, choices, vulnerability, balance. I really like the fact that, whoever is snooping and looking for information, please stop. Right? The information will always come to you. Once you pray on it, once you meditate to show what so and so is doing, hiding from you, it will come to you. The problem when we try to dig for something, we might find things that aren't actually there. Things may be blown out of proportion. It's actually too easy to misjudge a situation. This is why they don't want you chasing after anything, let alone information that will eventually make its way to you in divine timing. There's a lot of energy being sent out to the collective to help lovers heal, lovers come together, partnerships, long overdue partnerships come together, but everybody has to work on their healing. Everybody has to let go of their past baggage, and everybody has to really stop thinking that their ex is going to show up in everybody else that they date. If one uses this energy in the right way, even people who fumbled you in the past can come back and love you the right way. But first, you have to love yourself. Your self respect makes you more romantically attractive. Finances and career. For some of you, with this finances and career, it came out immediately that financial issues are not only a factor in your love life. If someone's not really talking to you or avoiding you, it's because they're struggling with their finances. They're struggling with being enough. This is definitely tying into the energy of someone who feels like they were never good enough for you. And then life started lifing, which caused you guys to go into separation. With this playfulness to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. It's more about taking each day as it comes, not looking too deeply into things, not giving things too deep of a meaning, because even though we are coming out of Mercury retrograde, being that Neptune gestation direct, a lot of things are still foggy. That clarity is coming in, the information is coming in, but if we rush towards it, there's a good chance that we're going to misunderstand what our spirit guides are trying to reveal, especially when it comes to those of you who are in situations where you find yourself doubting if the person you're with is your person or you should be moving on, if they actually mean you well. It's time to disconnect from the world. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. As we are under the energy of the waning moon, it's a good time to reflect. By this point, by this stage of the game, you should all have a clear vision of love, and you should all either have aligned with the person that could bring you that vision of love, that could help you manifest that vision of love into your reality, or you will shortly meet someone who does. Next, we have this card keeps coming out, right? The Hamza, the evil eye protection, symbol of protection, believed to ward off evil eye and bring good fortune, health, and happiness. Some of you may need to get a Hamza. Some of you may need to walk around with this ward as we come into this new year, not only to protect yourself, but to protect this relationship. This ties in the Two of Swords is about the person who is most impacted about the readings, over the readings that have been coming out today about the spiritual warfare that's going on in your relationship. Whatever information comes your way, make sure you look at it objectively. You are protected, but you are also encouraged to protect yourself. Take everything that comes out and look at it objectively. Silence your heart and make the necessary heart overhead decision. Now, this is very, very busy. Of course, it would be, right? Who's worrying about love or their partnership? Please stop. Because with this milk and honey coming out behind the thinker, means you're overthinking about what happiness looks like or if the person you're thinking of can, because we know that they can. The reason why they haven't been able to show up yet is more about divine timing than about whether or not this relationship is built to last the long run, right? Communication, intellect, reasoning, Mercury going to rec is going to bring you that clarity, but you gotta let it. And you gotta pace yourself and give yourself other things to do so you're not sitting there jumping to conclusions or making up scenarios that haven't happened. But since a lot of you are master manifestors, you being in the energy worrying about what's the worst that can happen will manifest the worst into happening. So stop it. Lastly, we have being defensive. But why are you defensive with this Nine of Wands? Yeah, love has showed up a certain way for you. And for some of you, your person is defensive, especially if they don't feel worthy enough to be with somebody like you. And then we have Archangel Raphael confirming the need to pray, confirming the need to meditate. Angel of healers and healing. Angel of healers. And I know a lot of the Soul Tribe members are natural born healers, right? He's often invoked during travels, illnesses, and to bless what? Because we know a lot of this is happening in 2026. We got that heads up last week, and it's confirmed with the retreat card because they're in wedding attire, and this is them leaving the ceremony, the reception, and going on to their honeymoon. The chaos and conflict is coming to an end if you allow it. Lovers are coming together, and it's going to end up in marriage, but both parties need to work on their healing if this relationship is going to come together in the way that it is intended to. But you, being the more awakened person in the union, keep your vibe as high as possible, regardless of who or what tries to get you into those low vibe energies. That is the love message for today. And I keep looking over at this deck. So we'll get one more love message. It's the pathway card, right? Talks about June the 8th, the 3rd. Look, it's at the bottom of the deck. February, end of March, May 9th. That wasn't intentional. August 5th. I don't know. Take note of those days when it comes to your relationship. Things are going to turn out a lot better than you can imagine. And instead of worrying what can go wrong, focus your energy and attention on everything that can go right. That is the love message for today. I'm going to take a quick gander at the chat. I learned that lesson I learned that lesson earlier this week. I'm working on it. That's all we ask, is that you work on it. How dare they? Indeed. Right? Especially when it comes to the message that was recorded earlier. Like the things that people are up to, but you gotta understand, you guys are Soul Tribe, right? Before we even met, you were in a space on your journey where you looked at life a lot differently than the people around you. You had a connection to source, you had a connection to spirit. A lot of people don't. A lot of people lack the inability to connect to their higher self. A lot of people lack their inability to believe in a power other than themselves. A lot of people say they trust in the Most High, pray to the Most High, and then they go out of their way to make other people's lives a living HE double hockey sticks. And those are the people that live the most chaotic lives. Those are the people that are always wondering, why is this happening to me? Well, maybe if you were a nicer person, people will do the craziest things for the craziest reasons. And it has 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with who that person is. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Do you guys enjoy the Ediscopes like I enjoy writing them? I typically write them on a Sunday night and then set it up to be delivered first thing in the morning. But sometimes, because life, I write them Monday afternoon. So let me know if you guys enjoy the Ediscopes and whether or not to take that with us into 2026. And I think I got through everybody's comments. If this is your first time here, hello. Make yourself known in the chat and definitely say hello. Boogie, you are first up. What is your pregunta? What is your question? I'm going to put this away. Or maybe not. We might take the Neon Awakening cards for it, so we will be using those again because they're fun. They are fun. As I clear the space and the energy for Boogie Woogie Woogie. Thank you, Marcy. Guidance, thank you, Dorsey. Guidance on the things I was texting you about last night, I guess. So, we'll continue to break in this deck to see what the lovely Boogie, aka, needs to know about not only that situation, but the other situation. Any other situations. The biggest thing, cutting the cards that came out, and we went right back to Hamza and Archangel Gabriel, was that you are protected. You are divinely guided. Life is not showing up the way that you had planned, right? We're always faced with fork in the road moments, Moments where we could choose either this or that. 6, 7, right? And regardless of what we choose, which direction we go, like there's no right or wrong answer. It's just the answer of where our soul wants to go next, what our soul wants to do next, how our soul, our spirit wants us to evolve next. Any regrets, any doubts that you're having, kick them to the curb. Talk about them, process them. But for the most part, with Archangel Gabriel and Hamza coming out, you are protected. Things could always be done a different way because there's at least a dozen ways you could pluck a chicken, right? But whatever way you choose is the best way in that moment. It's always going to be the right choice. Your guides are confident that you will always make the best choice because of your connection with them, your connection with spirit, your connection with your intuition. What else does Boogie Woogie Woogie needs to know? And if you didn't catch the whole live, it should automatically go up after we sign off. Anything else Boogie needs to know? I want to hold your hands as I say this, but they really need you to come to terms, mind, body, and soul, about what is, not on a surface level that this is what my life looks like now, but on a profoundly deep level of understanding, okay, the plan was to go this way, but now we're going this way. What steps do I need to take to make sure I could go this way and still be successful? There are still a lot of question marks. There's still a lot of things that are open in the air, waiting for other people to make strong decisions. You didn't come into making this choice all on your own. Your hand was forced in a way. Not to go too deeply into your situation or put your business on the streets because we are live. This is public and we don't know who knows who and we don't know who needs to know what about who. So we try to keep the messages as confidential as possible. But with somebody like Boogie, some of the message that comes out comes to you as the cards are coming out and you intuitively can read between the lines of what your guides want to say. There was a conversation that was had back in June, um, where decisions had to be made and to do what's best for you, being at that fork in the road. And decisions were made. And while these decisions weren't entirely your own to make, and while there is a form of spiritual manipulation at play, right? Even if it didn't go as far as seeking out the practitioner and all that craziness we heard about in the general readings today, all of that is part of the plan. All of that, good, bad, or otherwise, right? Because those are things as humans we choose to label as, is part of the plan. Your guides want you to know without even turning over a single card, because I love when that happens. And for those of you who are new here, the cards truly are for illustrative purposes. When your guides come through, it's just a straight channel, usually. Everything Boogie Woogie Woogie is working out for your highest and your greatest good. That being said, this card that came out in reverse, because this deck typically doesn't come out in reverse, but I've only had it for 2 days, so we can't really say typically yet because we haven't worked with it long enough. But it just so happens to be the fourth house, the house of home, the house of family, right? The things that you've been questioning. The surface level thing that changes the consequences, the rewards of your actions, has your fourth house literally upside down. But in the energy, the navigating it will take to turn it upside down, going through the process of, okay, this is what life is now. These are the best decisions that I can make now and moving forward gives birth to the person that you're becoming, gives birth to this new version of yourself. And if you look closely, you see that there's a bubble, right? gives birth to your hopes and your dreams, just in a different way, and some might even say a better way than you would have possibly imagined. Next, we have Proverbs 31. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come because she knows that every little thing is going to be all right, regardless of the spiritual manipulation, regardless of the drama, regardless of life's little lovely detours. You're going exactly where you're supposed to be going, doing what exactly you're supposed to be doing. The caution is not to fall into complacency, not to let people's ideas of how your situation is supposed to look trick you into thinking that their opinion, their ideas overrides your own. Maintain your sovereignty at all costs. Even if it even if it pushes you to do what others would call, will label as drastic, it's very, very, very important that you do not forget your dreams, your hopes, and your wishes. It's very, very important that you do not let anyone, heavy on the anyone, determine the terms of and conditions on how you live your life. Now, lastly, temperance, which is about healing, balance, middle ground, patience, alchemy. Whatever is meant for your harm will be turned into something meant for your good, and whatever is meant for your good will be turned to what's best for you on any given day, on any given moment. Always keep your eyes focused in the direction you want to go. Your life in itself, not just yours, but life in itself is always filled with detours, changes, and shifts, right? How they say in the Bible, our plans are not his plans, but everything always ends up beautifully. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep trusting yourself. Keep working towards building this new version of yourself that you are birthing, right? This new chapter of your life that you are creating. Just make sure you do it on your terms and do not give your power away. Create a system of checks and balances, right? Which include having trusted friends help you stay in check with the design, with the plan you have in your life. So that if you start slipping, they'll be like, hey, Boogie, you're slipping, and you could fall back into formation. They keep screaming about your sovereignty and making sure that you put yourself first. Try your best not to let them down. Try your best not to let yourself down. And the easiest way to do that is always putting yourself and your needs first. Boogie, woogie, woogie. That is your message. Perfect. I'm glad you feel lighter after last night. It's a necessary travel, but necessary thing. It's not the easiest thing. There are repercussions, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So that brings us to J Max. Where you at, love? Where are you? Where are you? Where art thou? As we head into the 2 o'clock hour here in NY. J Max. What is your question, beloved? First of all, how are you? And then let us know your question. What's on your mind on this Friday? Anytime, Boogie Woogie Woogie. Anytime. You low-key stuck with me now, so literally anytime. As we wait for J Max's The Scorpio stellium day is a day. Mm? Ugh. Mm-hmm. I feel you. I have a lot in my head, so I'll say let spirit lead. What will it take to get you out of your head and compartmentalize all the things that you are thinking? I would say journal, but it feels like a moment where you walk. That was about to come out really, really bad. Spirit was going to say walk the track, but not in the way you other people are thinking. J Max knows. Um, walk the path that you usually walk with the tree, right? And the water. We'll say it that way. Good Lord. Um, and instead of writing those things down, give it to the tree, right? Talk to the tree and release it that way. They really want you to lighten your load, so to speak. You have to lighten your load. You're heavy, right? And you're heavy because life has been heavy. But if you do not make an active practice of transmutating that energy, life will continue to be heavy. These situations popping up are only making you stronger. Holy, can't even get the words out. What does J Max need to know on this day? On this day, what does J Max need to know? Since these cards wanted to spin, 12 and 12, AA 12 and 12, giving that asks no rewards, love that has no price tag, a new state of consciousness, acceptance in being received as a free gift. But you see how all of these remind me of stickers I used to get as a kid, so puffy stickers, very 70s, late 70s, early 80s coded, right? But it also aligns with the chakra energy. Making that time to meditate. I don't know what the weather is like by you. Up here, it is very cold, right? Winter is definitely knocking on the front door. We're expecting snow tomorrow. But get out into nature, get into meditating, get into releasing, right? As we're under the energy of the waning moon and the light is dimming, right? Release all that heaviness. This goes back to the messages that came out a couple of weeks that have been coming out for a couple of weeks about the burdens we're carrying, we're not supposed to carry. We were never meant to carry at all, or at least for this long, right? Chariot, momentum, control, success, ambition. As I start to hear Hustler's Ambition by 50 Cent, it took me a while to get the name. Um, And the reason why they want you to be so light to free up your energy on this 12-12 day, look at that, right? Is because where you're going requires it. We've heard time and time and time and time and time again now that once the year of the fire horse really gets underway, things are going to shift very, very quickly. But if you're still in the heavy energy, if you're still processing and not compartmentalizing and not releasing, imagine a Corvette with 1,000 pounds of wider weight dumbbells in the trunk, right? Or the front, whatever they call it, right? I mean, if it does move, you're going to cause substantial damage to the vehicle. But chances are you won't be able to move forward because the weight far exceeds the capacity. The weight that you're carrying far exceeds what you were meant to carry. Let it go. Release it. Process it. We're not just stuffing it in a closet or saying that we release it, right? We never do, but always reminded to not stick it in the closet. And they're heavy on being in nature. And they're saying, figure it out. A person's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. We just said that. We just said that, right? In Boogie's reading. But that applies to you as well, especially when it comes to your wish fulfillment. Next we have, how are you guys feeling about this deck? I think I'm in love. Discernment, intuition versus logic, choosing the higher road, awakening, life path, keen perception. When you're heavy in the energy of figuring things out, or woe is me, or why is this happening to me, or not this again, right? And being overly concerned with how bad things look. One, you miss how good things are. Two, your heart and your ego starts to take over, and your intuition and logic goes out the window. Lighten your load. Lightening your load sharpens your discernment, so you know how to move and who to bring with you when this chariot. Oh, they said charity. Once this chariot gets into motion, charity, right? Being that given person, right? Being that person that gives without asking, right? That gives from the bottom of their heart because they just, we love you, right? And you love and you love people, and that's great. Just make sure you're exchanging that energy with people that would do the same for you. Anonymous, you cannot see your reflection. One of my favorite quotes. You cannot see your reflection in boiling water. Similarly, you cannot see the truth in a state of anger when the water calms, clarity comes. Another confirmation to get out of your head, drop into your heart space, meditate over the things that have been happening, pray, talk about them to your guides, your ancestors, that tree, right? Release them and let them go. Pluto, because you know what's the first word, right? Transformation, power, death. We talked about Scorpio season, or shortly thereafter, being a period of time where a lot of transformation, a lot of changes will happen for the collective as a whole and for us on an individual basis. And it hasn't disappointed. Whatever has been revealed to you, all of that has been revealed to you, put in its proper box and send them about their merry way, so that when you get the on your mark, get set, go, you move forward with a clear heart, a clear conscience, and a clear mind, taking only with you the people, the comrades that will do for you, or at least try to do for you, what you do for them, how you support you, the way you support them, and not just come around because you're J Max, or to reap the benefits of your friendship without providing any benefits of their own. That is your message. I live in transformation. It's the time. It's the time. And that's a confirmation that you know that things are about to get really, really good. If there's this much energy pouring in to help you navigate frenemies and different situations and lightening your load, is because where you're going is not only where you want to be, but it's a place of being happier than you've been in a very, very long time. It's another state of elevation because of how you showed up in the world. It's a state of completion and ascending to that next level, that higher level. You're not descending, you're moving up in spiritual rank and physical. The nonprofit has been formed, and hermit mode is strategic. You have to, right, protect that which you've created at all cost. So that leaves us with Dorsey being next. Dorsey, my dear, what is your question? Like, I didn't read these cards. I just kind of took them out the box, sat with them, prayed over them, cleansed them, and just started using them. So I'm not entirely sure everything that's on it. Oh, well, this one is a combination of traditional tarot and oracle. I think they both are, but this one includes the houses and quotes, which I adore. Is it the major arcana? Yeah, this looks like the major arcana. The other one has the major and the minor arcana. This is nice. There's that Ho'oponopono. Anytime, J Max, anytime. I'm not too sure about this emperor. Oh. Dorsey, what is your question? I like the quotes, the houses, and the major. Mike Tyson. Huh. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Going once for Dorsey, going twice, because next is TJ. And then we're going to wrap up the live. Thank you for everyone that responded to the Patreon yesterday. Is TJ even here? Whatever comes out. It reminds me of those binders that have been used to, they used to be filled with markers and colored pencils. Yeah, it's a really fun deck. Now, as I was playing with the deck, whatever comes out, at the bottom of the deck, Dorsey, you have divine connection. You haven't done what needs to be done. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Your elevation depends on doing the hard thing, my love. Anything else for Dorsey? Anything else? Ooh. Anything else? Okay, we'll just leave it at that because now they're trying to fly all over the place, right? You have external influences, religion, outside parties, soul family, spiritual connections here to help you grow. Support, past life connections, shared purpose and mission, clarifying Archangel Michael. Big Daddy Michael has entered the chat. Often regarded as the leader of the archangels, Michael is known as a warrior, the protector against evil. As your journey continues, as you heal both mentally, physically, spiritually, and spiritually, do not forget the main goal, which is elevation in your spiritual purpose, walking in your spiritual purpose fully 365, 24/7. Aligning with your soul family, which you started to do 3.5 years ago, right? Almost 3.5 years ago. And not paying attention or giving weight to the family you're leaving behind, the family and friends and lifestyles you're leaving behind. During the hard thing, and we talked about it happening in July, very tongue in cheek the last time this came up. But you guys want you to know that earthly, yeah, we can assign a lot of meaning, and people assign a lot of meaning to that move in the earthly context, but in the spiritual realm, taking that leap of faith, right? Actually coming into the situation where it's legal on earth and legal in the heavens, access is gives you access to another level of power and ability. And it's not just for yourself, but the people you are meant to help, including your partner, including your partner's family, including the people that you guys will meet together wants to become one. And they've been on your tail about this for a while, but they also want you to do it when you are ready, and not, and definitely do not make it look like you're doing it just because, or you're doing it because other people told you you should do it, right? Because look at that. And it's funny that the Emperor card came back out as we were going through the deck, because I was like, I really don't like this imagery of the Emperor, authority structure, but this is confirmation that these next steps you've been guided to take in spirit is leading you to that higher level. You've been an emperor in training. They're saying for far too long, it's time for you to take your proper place in the sun by doing what needs to be done. And this came out in reverse in that star, right? That hope, inspiration, renewal, spiritual guidance, wish fulfillment, right? When we see the star card, it's about wish fulfillment, but it came out in the reverse. And in your case, this reversal speaks about it coming out delayed. Like life is good, right? Or decent. Not too many complaints, not too many issues, just the regular life of lifing. You're very content, but do not become complacent. Heavy on the energy of, okay, you're content, but do not become complacent until you reach this level. This is where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to be going. You are an emperor. Do what's necessary to claim that title, both physically and spiritually, because on the other side of that, you will find that life starts working out for you in ways that you didn't even realize was even possible. And there will be moments in time when you meditate and reflect and like, how can one simple thing changes everything? That's how the cards are set up for you. That is how your destiny is set up for you. And it's usually the small, simple things that change and shift everything. That is your message. I think I'm going to save this deck for the personal readings. I don't know, but they feel very, very good. Very, very good. Shout out to Big Daddy Michael for coming through and gracing us with his presence. I don't think TJ is here. If I'm wrong, let me know as we look up and the clock says 2:20. We're going to wrap up the live. So any thoughts, questions, feelings that you want to share with the collective, do so now or forever hold your peace. Until the next time we meet. Any thoughts, feelings, questions, suggestions, words of encouragement you want to share with one another? Things of that nature. Going once. Going twice. That is it. We're going to. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? End the live with an angel number. That seems appropriate, right? We're not going to take the 555 unless it comes out. Well, thank you, AC. They were heavy about not being complacent, right? Because things are, one would say, smooth, but this, how it is now, it's not how it's supposed to be. Oh my goodness. Well, hello, Lex. We'll be here for a little while. I think we'll go, you know what I might end up doing? You guys let me know if this works for you. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we'll go live here on YouTube. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, whenever they restore my connection, um, we'll go live on TikTok. Anytime, Dorsey. Anytime. All right. Holy Spirit, Big Daddy Michael, what is the angel number for the collective? And hold on. We forgot to mention or failed to mention that Archangel Michael, which is the leader of the archangels, came out with Emperor, right? We talk about there being many kings in the tarot deck, right? There's 4 kings: the King of Wands, King of Swords, King of Hearts, right? King of Cups, but there's only one Emperor. You are and have always been destined to be bigger than who you think you are, Dorsey. It is 222 as that comes out, right? That kind of almost broke my nail. We're not doing that again, Spirit, please. Holy Spirit, what is the angel number for today on this 12 portal? Right. Okay, don't throw the cards at me. This literally came at me, like hit me in the stomach and all. It must be really good. First, we have 2266. Unexpected surprises. I like unexpected surprises as long as they're good. Improvement, perfection, abundance. There will be new purchases or additions coming to you. With an angel, like it's kind of challenging to see because the card is so dark, looming in the background. Gifts are coming in, unexpected gifts. 2266 or any variation thereof that you see this weekend is a reminder that something good is about to arrive, followed by 6699. And this feels like it's particular to J Max. Let go of the attachment, harvest growth, and continue to pay attention. Guard the beauty, guard the thing that you are creating. Let go of your attachment to your items, to certain people, especially if you have a strong attachment to a certain type of material or person. This sequence of numbers asks you to release this attachment and withdraw from it. And this message represents that the things you have sold or lost in your life are about to be replaced with something better. Hence the unexpected surprises. But they can't surprise you if you're still holding on to the things, to the people, places, and the things that they told you to let go of. That is your message, collective. Thank you so much for spending this part of your day with the Soul Tribe, Spirit, and me. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and as always, stay blessed.